Hi, how's it going? My name is Daniel Morris, and this is my Communication Challenge number 1 presentation. So we looked at 3 years worth of World Happiness Report data, and I will show you my findings. So first and foremost, I wanted to see if I could find any trends right off the bat, just obvious ones that were there. So I just averaged out the overall happiness scores for each year, 2015, 2016, 2017. And as you can see, there's relatively no change. There's a little bit of fluctuation in all of these, the averages, the highest and the lowest scores for each, but overall pretty static. So after that, I decided to look deeper into it and look at each country plotted on a graph. So as you can see here, these are the 3 years of happiness scores for all the countries plotted on a graph. Not all the countries are visible because all 150 some odd countries are plotted who had 3 years worth of data. But you can see here there's fluctuation in the scores for each individual country, whether it's up, down, to various degrees. So I wanted to look at what were the contributing factors, what were the main factors contributing to these differences from the World Happiness Report. So I took the top 15 and the bottom 15 countries for each year and kind of compared them on the factors listed on the World Happiness Report. As you can see here, happiness score is obviously a big difference, and then the other major significant differences are found with economy or GDP, family, health, freedom, and dystopia residuals, and then very little difference between trust in the government and generosity. So moving on to 2016, you can see it's about the same. Same trends apply. Large difference in GDP, freedom, health, family, dystopia residuals, but a very low difference between trust and generosity. And now looking at 2017, you can see same differences apply. So key takeaways from this would be the key factors at a glance contributing to happiness would be GDP, family, health, freedom, dystopia residuals, and then the little difference would be trust in government and generosity. Now what you can also find is overall happiness is seeing very little change, as you can see from the averages, the highs and the lows, and then the key differences. Most happiness rankings and tier rankings remain relatively static. Some in the top 15 will move around in the top 15, but they'll still stay up there. Those in the bottom pretty much remain the same. However, there are 48 countries in the list who became increasingly less happy over the 3 years, including some very highly ranked ones: Switzerland, Denmark, Canada, Sweden, and others who are consistently in the top 15. On the other hand, there are 53 countries who became increasingly happier as the years went on. So I wanted to see what might be the difference there. So I took 2 examples. I took Switzerland, one of the ones who became increasingly less happy, and I took Romania, who saw significant increases in their happiness. So here's Switzerland's scores over the 3 years that we had. As you can see, dystopia residuals went up and then down a little bit. We had their trust in government go down a little bit here. Their generosity remained relatively the same. Freedom went down and then up again. Health went down. Family went down and up. And then GDP went increasingly higher. So going back to our main factors, GDP is high. Family is high. Health lowered, freedom kind of a wash, and dystopia residuals have gone down. Yet their overall happiness has gone down, even though a couple of the major factors have gone up. Now looking at Romania, their dystopia residuals went really high and then low again. They have virtually no trust in their government whatsoever. Their generosity has remained the same. Freedom has gone up. Their health, like Switzerland, has gone down. Family has gone down and then significantly higher, and then their GDP has gone higher every year. And their happiness has gone up significantly every year. So I kind of thought about that, then why would that make a difference between these 2 countries? So I kind of made a summary of the major takeaways from this data. So at a glance, happiness has remained relatively constant overall with rankings and tier rankings. The key variables are GDP, family, health, and freedom for overall looking at all the countries. But my main takeaway would be happiness and the factors contributing to it are both relative and specific. So like we looked at Switzerland and Romania, both their GDPs went up, but maybe that GDP increase mattered more to Romania. That contributed significantly more to their happiness. So the different factors contribute differently to different countries. Romania's gotten progressively higher with having virtually no trust in their government, while Switzerland has trust in their government, but their happiness has gone down. So things like that. But overall, the factors affecting happiness are different for each country in importance and in magnitude. And that's my presentation. Thank you for listening.